You probably think that solving shrink is a reactive job. You wait for an audit, you react to a report, you respond to a theft. But what if you could solve 90% of your shrink, the most frequent repetitive losses, with an easy 3-step daily habit? Today, I'm going to share with you the single most powerful habit you can do to get the most value from your loss prevention software. Let's be honest, we get bogged down. We spend our time chasing the big flashy case, the big ORC group, the elaborate internal theft, and so we should, but we often ignore the death by 1,000 cuts, the small, frequent losses that adds up to a mountain of shrink later on. The secret to stopping this isn't some new software. It's about how we use the existing software that we have to dig out and find those repetitive cuts by looking at the right place at the right time every single day. You'll want to start your day off with a simple 3-step process. The first step is the daily dashboard. If you don't have this dashboard, you can ask your vendor to build it for you, or you can just go to each of the individual reports directly. First, you want to get access to these reports. The first report you want access to is top exceptions by value, regardless of exception type, sorted in order of highest value to lowest value. This report will identify the highest value exceptions in order so you can deal with the highest value exceptions first and the lower value exceptions next. The second report you want to have access to is top employees by exception count. So we all know that employees often start with small, repetitive theft or fraud, which then can grow into a much larger value. So we'll want to identify those that are starting down that trend and try to get them cut off sooner than later when it becomes a much bigger problem. Now, sometimes these particular exceptions aren't necessarily fraud, but they could be operational challenges or policy issues that a potential new employee or existing employee is not aware of, or if there's a policy change. So in either case, we want to get those dealt with sooner than later. And when loss prevention talks to the store manager and the store manager talks to the cashier, they'll know that loss prevention is watching and monitoring, so that if ever they were to think about doing something, they know they're going to get caught. The next report you'll want to have access to is just a simple list of new stores along with existing stores and new managers along with existing managers. And the reason for this report is so that we can open a channel of communication with every store to keep that communication alive and let them know that we are their partner in helping reduce theft, crime, and operational challenges. And of course, the last report you'll want on your daily dashboard is a list of all of your active open cases. Every day, we want to make sure that we're moving the needle in the appropriate direction for every active case. We don't want to lose track of that. We want to make sure that those cases come to fruition, whether that's closed to success or closed without evidence. In any case, we want to make sure that we close out every case that we start. The second step of our daily habit is to create an action plan from that dashboard. From the high value exception reports, we want to identify and work through all the highest value exceptions first. Take appropriate actions to deal with those high value items. Now, depending on the exceptions, that could consume your entire day, and so it should. If a case has a tremendous value, we want to move that throughout the course of the day to deal with it appropriately and leave all other things till later. However, as we continue this daily habit, we'll have less and less of those high value exceptions where we can move into towards the more proactive approach, and eventually our day could be filled with just proactive activities. So once you've dealt with that report, you want to move on to the exception count by employee. This is an opportunity to get in front of those small, repetitive thefts or frauds or operational challenges that could and most likely lead to far more significant values. This is also an opportunity to help a new employee with training and policy review so that they can comply with those policies and learn their job more effectively so that loss isn't happening at their till. Now, once we've completed dealing with all of the reactive measures, we want to switch over to proactive mode. This is the most important step. We don't want to wait for an audit. We don't want to wait for a big case. We want to take the report of the stores and store managers by open and start date and reach out to them proactively just to have conversations. Talk about strategies for ensuring employees know that loss prevention is always monitoring so that employees have all the right policy information, any changes to policies, things like that, so that the stores and all the employees there understand and know that loss prevention is actively working to prevent theft, fraud, and operational challenges in the stores. And it just takes one simple phone call. Call that store manager, have a chat, ask if they know the new policies, existing policies, how many new employees they have, when they were last trained, all that kind of stuff to get them on side and partnering with the loss prevention team to prevent theft and fraud from occurring in the stores. This simple habit, although it seems very simple and basic, can be a game changer. If you consistently go through, look at that dashboard, react to all of the active exceptions based on the value and the count, and then proactively reach out to those stores and manage your district of stores effectively and consistently, you will see a noticeable change in your shrink in your area of responsibility. But where else can you share, understand, and collaborate with others on this strategy and other strategies that others are using to create success in their loss prevention practices? Well, the answer is the LP community. Inside the LP community, you can collaborate with peers. You can learn strategies from documents and tools that we're providing inside the environment for you to get more value from your loss prevention software. Join the community and we'll see you there. One last thing before you go. I'd like to ask you a favor. Can you help us spread the word? It doesn't cost you a thing, and it'll help us grow this channel and the LP community. Just hit the subscribe button below, click the thumbs up to like the video, and share this to everyone you know so we can get the word out and build a huge LP community. Thank you so much for watching and making it right to the end of this video. And we'll see you in the next one.